crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadroute.com. With your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. Oh, I was gonna start this little program, Bob, by saying, oh yeah, we're kind of flat today, and all of a sudden we had a little spike. Again. Well, who are the riggers now? Let's talk about past riggers that have died by the hand of the Silver Knights. Drexel Burnham was the big one in the 1980s. This is all from Ted Butler, by the way. Butler Research. He's been tracking this thing since the 1980s, believe it or not. Obviously, the Hunt brothers, but they weren't going short. They were long. They were taken out by the banking cabal, by the CFTC in collusion with the U.S. government. Should they have been? I don't know. They took a 100 million ounce long position on the COMEX and took out 100 million ounces of physical silver. Now, JP Morgan, on the other hand, took off over 1 billion ounces, and they just got slapped in the wrist. Anyway, let's just talk about Drexel Burnham. First went down in a fiery heat because of their silver short position, and you cannot let that lie. So AIG took it over as an insurance company for all the banks to feed off their insurance backing. It destroyed them. And then Bear Stearns, we all know what happened to Bear Stearns. JP Morgan had to take him over, which means JP Morgan had the short position, and boom, JP Morgan gets hit with $920 million fine. One of the largest fines in history. They weren't allowed to go belly up because JP Morgan and Blythe Masters and Jamie Dimon decided to go long physical and keep shorting the silver market for 10 years. That's how they survived. They survived because they had more physical silver than anybody ever on planet Earth. And the DOJ required them to return 300 million ounces, which was done this year already. So where are we now? Who's got the short position? Who's going to take it over? Right now, the banks still have it. The top 8 banks still have it, but they claim it is hedged. It is hedged with physical silver that they moved out of the COMEX. They didn't really move it out. On paper, they moved it out of the COMEX and into SLV. That's what they claim as their hedge. That's why the SLV inventory went to 550 million ounces. But who knows? It's all a shell game. The question is, where do we go from here? When silver makes its next move up, probably over the 50-day moving average, which is we are 89 cents away right now, who will be shorting into the rise? Now, I have 2 entities that I think are taking over. Well, one has been there for a very long time. They both have, but one has been a computer market rigger there for a very long time, and that is a company called Virtu Financial, Vincent Viola as the founder and CEO. I'm not sure if he's a CEO, chairman, or whatever he is. Vincent Viola and Bernie Madoff were the heads of the NASDAQ and the NYMEX back in the day before they said, oh my God, us as part of the criminal cabal, we can make so much more money by rigging and spoofing and using our computer programs. So for some reason, they took out Bernie Madoff, but they did not take out Vincent Viola. Bernie Madoff, the second floor of Bernie Madoff, the floor beneath the main offices, which was just his family members and an entity printing receipts. Below that was the computer trading floor for the cabal, the Mossad operation through the Israeli Secret Service. It wasn't 50 billion, it was 500 billion. And that was taken down. It was taken down by a guy named Mark Mukasey. Mark Mukasey was the son of Michael Mukasey, the Attorney General at the time. I mean, all this stuff has been researched on the Road to Ruta. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to the Road to Ruta website and look up Mark Mukasey or Vincent Viola. The odd thing is, Trump, being who Trump is, he tries to put all the criminals front and center so you know who they are. Tried to put Vincent Viola as the head of the Navy when he got kicked out of West Point for cheating, and somehow skirted around it. It's an ugly, sordid affair, but that's who I think is there now, in combination with BlackRock. BlackRock is pretty much running the whole financial gamut through the Fed because the banks aren't allowed to do it anymore. It's too visible for the banks. And the regulators and the congressmen are either too stupid or too paid off to understand what's going on. So, will we lose Virtu Financial in the climb over $26? I don't know. I don't know that they'll even take a short position. The banks right now are almost completely hedged, meaning they can pull their silver out of SLV, which I think they'll probably happen. Is you'll see a collapse in the warehouse silver at SLV, and it'll be used not to pay off. They don't want to pay off the short positions when they're called for delivery in December, by the way. But they're going to deliver the silver, not pay it off. We'll see what happens, though, right? The game continues. We'll see what happens at $26. Now, Ted Butler seems to think, once we clear some of these hurdles, $26 and $30, there's nobody willing to short into the rise. And when there's nobody willing to short into the rise, who's going to short silver? And when the price goes up, that's when that's the big shiny light. Everybody looks over there and says, oh my God, look at that price going up. Why don't I buy some silver? They go buy some silver and they can't find it. By then, I think the SLV will be shut down. I hope you don't have any money in SLV. I hope you don't have any money in any silver mining shares. The risk reward there is just way too out of whack. Yes, I understand they have a lot of cheap metal in the ground. The risk is that if silver goes up over $50, they're going to shut down all the banks and the mining companies, and they'll nationalize them. Put yourself in Mexico's position. You've got a whole population of starving people, and you have the largest, most valuable natural resource on planet Earth sitting in your ground that you keep giving away for some reason, exporting. They've exported a third of all silver that's ever been mined. That's crazy. I think the last calculation was 33% or whatever it is. But that's crazy. And Mexican people should revolt against their government and their central bankers and their banking cabal just because of what they did. They sold off the wealth of their country for nothing, literally. So I think that's coming. I think that's part of when Trump said, yeah, Mexico's going to build the wall. Wouldn't you want to build a wall if you held the wealth of the world in your country? So yes, Mexico will have plenty of money to build the wall, not from people leaving Mexico going into the U.S., but the other way around. Mexico's not going to want people coming to their country when silver's at $10,000, $20,000 an ounce, because they have a lot of it in the ground. Anyway, so yeah, I think those are the next two companies on the chopping block for the silver short. Virtu Financial, which, I've been dealing with them since they were called EWT LLC. I went back and forth with a regulator, David Cass, at the CFTC, saying, why are these guys allowed? They're a high-frequency trading company with very secretive company back then. Now they've gone public and have thousands of employees. Back then, they were one of the highest volume traders on the COMEX and had like 5 employees. It was ridiculous. But it was part of the manipulation, part of the whole plan. Now they're much bigger, still practically no regulatory scrutiny on these guys. But the number one, if you're looking for a spoofer or any kind of computer market manipulation, look no further than Virtu Financial. With the backing, of course, of the largest hedge fund in the world, BlackRock, who runs pretty much the Federal Reserve right now. That's our world. I mean, we just got to deal with it. All right, let's take a look at what's going on with. We're getting to that point where people are going to start talking about the next silver delivery month, which is December. We got 2 months in between October and November, and then December is the delivery month. So by the end of November, they got to get out of this short position, which is currently at 158,000 contracts, which is about, what is that, close to 700 million ounces of physical silver. Of course, they can't deliver it. I don't know how many it'll come down to, how many contracts. But because of the new position limits that got doubled, I think anybody who's short is vulnerable. So they might be trying to get out earlier. Keep an eye on that. I'll keep an eye on it for you. But here's something I want to tell you. It's really interesting what's going on with Theta. Now, Theta's gone from 75 cents down to 60 cents. something really interesting is going on with the Binance Hot Wallet. Binance basically has two wallets. I think they were given about 15 million Theta tokens for Theta to put their tokens on a large exchange like Binance. I think it was probably gifted at the very beginning when they created the tokens. There's two wallets. There's the wallet they're staking right here. When you go to Guardian node, they run a validator node right here, 93 million tokens. A really interesting thing going on there. I'll show you in a second. But the other wallet was this wallet, ending with 555, which had about 60. So you had 93 and about 60. It was around 100, it's 150. So yeah, sorry. Of the billion tokens, Binance was gifted probably 150 million tokens to basically create an exchange for Theta tokens, which is really important. So I don't have a problem with that. But the visibility of what is going on right now for the last, now these 60 million, according to a friend of mine, 60 million have pretty much stayed steady for the last 2 years since they've had it. All of a sudden, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was a computer program implemented to distribute small amounts of this through thousands and thousands of wallets. And it is going down and going down and going down every day. As a matter of fact, every 5 or 10 minutes, there's a new transaction. This is also the wallet that distributes Simple Swap and all the swap exchanges through Binance happen on this same wallet. So it's their hot wallet. So they have literally gone from 60 million tokens down to 5.7. Now I haven't refreshed this in a couple minutes. Watch what's going to happen. Now I don't know anything about it. All I'm going to do is refresh this. I'll guarantee you we're at 5 million. I'm going to write it down. 5,729,190. Okay? 5,729,190 Theta tokens in this wallet. And by the way, Theta Fuel hasn't moved at all. And I'll tell you why I think this is going on. I'm going to refresh it, and you're going to see that number move down. And look at all these tiny transactions every couple minutes. 4 minutes, 15 minutes, 17 minutes, 24 minutes ago. There's a Theta Fuel. I haven't seen many of those. Ooh, another Theta Fuel. Maybe they're starting to leak out the Theta Fuel. I don't know, but watch this. So we're looking at 5,729,190. I'm going to refresh. 5,580,324. It is going. It's literally like a countdown to the end of the Theta price manipulation. It's really exciting. I want to see what happens when this wallet hits 0 Theta. I want to see what happens to the price of Theta, because they've moved the price down from 75 cents down to 60. It went down into 50. It's starting to level off. It's 60 now. I want to see what happens when this wallet is depleted. What I think is going on, I think there's an epic change coming in the cryptocurrency exchanges, that the regulators are coming into all exchanges around the world and saying, you have to hold the tokens that your customers have in their own specific address, not on a big lump sum. You have to hold it. So what does Binance have to do? They have to distribute their $60 million hot wallet to all the wallets within their customers, which makes sense. Which I don't know why they don't do it before. Well, I do. It was unregulated. But to meet with regulations, they're going to say, so we're going to find out how many Theta tokens that Binance had allocated to their people. Now, I saw something really interesting yesterday. Look at this. On the Binance validator node, they turned off their validator node for some reason. And that was yesterday. I don't know why. And this was a little lower. So they turned it back on, it looks like. So they turned it off and turned it on. What I think it might be is they were running out of tokens to satisfy what their customers had. If we see this $93 million Theta validator node get unstaked, that means they didn't have the tokens that they're going to have to dip into the validator node. But because they turned it off and then turned it back on, I think they were starting to sweat it, and then they found Theta token somewhere because they've been trying to suppress the price so that people cough up Theta tokens so they can refill and get their customers in line with all the regulators. That's my take. I don't know if it's true, but it's really fun to watch this address, which is, I'll put it in a link. I'll put in the link in the description below this video. It ends with 555. I'm not going to read it all off, but it was determined to be the hot wallet. And it's pretty easy to figure out what Binance is paying out in, because all you have to do is take a delivery of Theta, have them send it to you, and you'll see what wallet it comes from. So yeah, that's real exciting news. It's literally the countdown has begun. Now, it was just a couple seconds ago that we did a refresh on this, right? Let's do it again. 55. I'm going to write it down. 5580324. Now, this is 21 minutes ago, so probably isn't moving. Who knows? Could be every 5 minutes, could be every 20 minutes. It looks like it's slowing down too. So maybe they did get the Theta that they needed. So let's see where we are. Let's just look at the last 5. 8324. Refresh. 8324. See, it hasn't moved in 25 minutes. So it is slowing down, but if you go back through all the transactions, it's every couple minutes. And then for a while there, in the beginning, it was even faster. So the sell-off is slowing down, which to me means that they have enough for their customers, which means the Guardian node that they were going to unstake to get those tokens, I think they can keep it there. We'll see. What does it mean? It means it's a damn good time to get yourself some Theta and start a Guardian node at 60 cents. It will cost you $6,000 to get 10,000 Theta. Theta is the future of the internet. Theta is the future, probably the future of smart contracts. They're definitely using smart contracts for their internal purposes, for the gaming and all that, which is the core of Theta. But hey, if Ethereum can't get their shit together, Theta can do smart contracts in the Ethereum same programming language for pennies per transaction. Not even pennies. Thousandth of a penny per transaction. Whereas Ethereum, in times it gets busy, oh my God, you're paying like $2 or $3 for one transaction. You can't run a business on that platform. So keep an eye on that. Really exciting stuff. Again, I am a big fan of Theta. By the way, for an overall on Theta right now, we're looking at the total staked of 506 million of the 1 billion coins. Over 50% are already staked. Do you have yours yet? You better get yours. If you guys saw, obviously Michelle White Dove has it going over 1,000. If you saw the remote viewing of Theta by the crypto viewing guys, which I will be speaking with Dick Allgeier on Friday, and I want to talk to him about, especially their new remote viewer, Hitomi. She seems to be absolutely freaking spot on. But the whole team did a great job on Theta and just reassured me that we're in the right place with Theta. It's probably going to eclipse Bitcoin as far as market cap. You heard it here first. No, Michelle White Dove, obviously at $1,000 Theta, what is that? 1,000 times a billion is that a trillion? Let's do the math. I know this is an easy one, but my head, I don't want to get it wrong like I always do. So a billion, my calculator won't even do it. I'll get back to you. So take a billion, times it by 1,000. It would be a trillion, right? It'd be your first $1 trillion market cap crypto. If Michelle White Dove is correct. But she didn't say 1,000. She said that Theta goes in the thousands. So right now it's 60 cents and it goes into the thousands of dollars. You do the math. All right, just a quick update. The Biden saga Looks like Biden's partner is singing like a canary, and they had to move him out of prison, which is a good move. Barr, you did a good job on this one, maybe, and they're going to make sure this guy stays alive. They moved him out of the prison he was in, and it's funny. Everybody who's worked with Hunter Biden is in jail right now, so they're all willing to turn state's evidence against the criminal cabal. I don't know if you guys saw this, but just 2 days ago, the Trump administration released this 61-page report, the National Action Plan to Combat Human Trafficking. This is the number one problem in America by this criminal cabal. By the way, if you have not seen the censored version of the Will Lair discussion, go to the private road at Road to Ruta. And if you go down to Ruta's Private Road Year Zero Updates, you click on that, you'll see the very first video is the censored Road to Ruta, everything I can't say on YouTube or Facebook or all that, I say on this. So we do talk about child trafficking, Pizzagate, all that stuff. Just an FYI, if you want the real scoop, go check it out. But I find it very interesting that at the same time this Hunter Biden hard drives are being examined and they're finding a lot of really bad stuff on it, Trump comes out with the 61-page manifesto on just how well they're doing and how many divisions of the U.S. government are involved in taking down the human traffickers. And they define what human traffickers as. If they are underage, they are counted as human traffickers. And people nobody talks about this, but right here, at my direction, U.S. Immigration, Customs Enforcement, and other federal agencies have arrested more than 5,000 human traffickers over the last 3 years. We are dismantling criminal organizations as we disrupt the financial infrastructure of these networks. U.S. law enforcement consistently collaborates with Mexican law enforcement officials to annihilate human trafficking networks operating across the southern border, and it's all around the world. This is the takedown of the deep state. So just be aware of that and check out the Will Lair discussion. Also, while you're over there at the Road to Ruta Private Road, I've got a new Jenny Moonstone discussion tomorrow that I'll be posting, but there's a ton of Jenny Moonstone readings, and this is the important one, the Theta page. Something that people keep doing, and I don't know why they do it. Read the Theta page at Road to Ruta on the private road. You got to be a private road member. People keep sending Theta to Ethereum wallets and vice versa. Just because they both use the same SHA-256 cryptography to make the wallets doesn't mean you should mix. You should never mix wallets. And it is possible to get them off, but you better be a computer expert to do it. So do not send Theta to an Ethereum wallet, and do not send Ethereum to a Theta wallet. If you're dealing with Trezor, go to the thetatoken.org website under wallet and hardware. That's how you access the Trezor. You don't go through the Trezor wallet. As a matter of fact, I have a full video on it down here. And I got everything here on the Theta page for beginners to get involved with Theta and learn how to buy it, store it, and stake it. All right? But it's just, it's not infuriating. I know how confusing it can be, but just, you got to use your head when you think, okay, I'm going to transfer Theta to Ethereum. That doesn't make sense, does it? Those are two separate blockchains, and vice versa. But the problem is that because they're made with the same SHA-256 algorithm, the wallets are made, they do accept it. So it'll disappear. It'll disappear. There is a way to get it, but you better be good at computers to do that. Anyway, that's all I got for you, my friends. I think I'll put a new song at the end of today's video. Also, wait, one more thing. We're probably going to be, Amy and I will probably be traveling to Arizona, I think near Phoenix in December. Wondering if anybody wants to do a meetup in the area. We'll be there for a week or so. And then I'm going to go to a certain place I'm looking for, Cibola, the lost city of gold, which is really cool. And I'll talk about that down there. If anybody, it's like mid-December. If anybody's in that area, the Phoenix area, or I think it's Phoenix, yeah, let me know. And if you want us to do a meetup / concert type of thing, and especially if you know a place we can do it. Bars work well, arenas. It doesn't even matter. We don't even need power. I've got an outdoor field would work for us these days. I've got a portable generator that runs off electricity that I can run the whole system off. So if you're in that area, send me an email, bix@roadroo.com, and say, hey, I'm willing to help you set up a gig down there. And that would be mid-December. I think it's around the 12th, 13th, something like that. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to end with a song from the Bitcoin Bin meetup. Everybody stay hunkered down. A lot of craziness coming down for the remaining couple months of year 0. So hang on tight. I'll talk to you later.
Speaking of Litecoin, does anybody have any Litecoin?
Yes!
I do. Do you know Litecoin is actually the right coin as the means of exchange? Did you know that? The guy front and center is the actual Litecoin app creator right there. And Litecoin Foundation member. If you want to know anything about Litecoin, talk to Jim. He's right here. Well, hey, the crypto lover, how you wondering what to do? Where to put your money that'll grow the most for you? Well, they show you all these choices. You're afraid you're gonna lose. A token coin or platform, you know you gotta choose. And when the baker's out to get you, the con is so deranged. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. Well, Charlie Lee's the man, the one that you can trust, the nicest guy in crypto and all. Well, that's a must. Well, he sold all of his Litecoin, donation to the cause. He still works his ass off, fixing all the flaws. You see, Charlie's got a plan where bankers can't make change. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. Well, Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. It'll buy you a cup of coffee when Lightning is arranged. My bank is on my cell phone. I'm walking in his store. I scan the code, no time to load. I'm walking out the door, and every crypto's got a purpose. Everything's about to change. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. Well, Bitcoin ain't so bad. It's always way too slow. 10-minute confirmations, what did the quarters know? Roger's Bitcoin Cash can really scale and grow. And Jihan Wu, he scares me too. He can rig the whole damn show. But we gotta use some, cause everything's about to change. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. Well, Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. It'll buy you a cup of coffee when Lightning is arranged. My bank is on my cell phone. I'm walking in his store. I scan the code, no time to load. I'm walking out the door, and every crypto's got a purpose. Everything's about to change. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. Well, hello, Crypto Kitty. You're really looking pretty. I don't think you'll help me deep in the nitty-gritty, cause I really need a crypto that's sounding tried and true. You're just a fad, it's kinda sad, a hairball in the zoo. You see, I'm looking for a use case when banks go down the drain. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. Everybody! Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. It'll buy you a cup of coffee when Lightning is arranged. My bank is on my cell phone. I'm walking in his store. I scan the code, no time to load. I'm walking out the door, and every crypto's got a purpose. Everything's about to change. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. It'll buy you a cup of coffee when Lightning is arranged. My bank is on my cell phone. I'm walking in his store. I scan the code, no time to load. I'm walking out the door, and every crypto's got a purpose. Everything's about to change. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. Hey, in the front row! Look at you, Orange, California. What a funny name for a town. Hi, welcome to Watermelon, California. They grow a lot of oranges here, right?
No.
Listen. Hey, by the way, Orange has a much friendlier face mask rule, there's actually people in the government who are willing to go balls out and say, screw you, Mr. Gavin Newsom. I love that.